Welcome to the Benchmark Studio podcast. My name is Katie, and today we have with us Jalissa, one of the student leaders here. So Jalissa, tell me, how did you find out about Benchmark and what brought you here?
So I found out about Benchmark because I was, at that time, I was skipping a lot of school and I was doing a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to be. And I had gotten caught, so they sent me to the Benchmark. Well, they sent me to SAP at Benchmark at the McCaskey.
Okay.
And so through there, they were trying to get me a job. So they got me an interview here. So when they got me an interview here, I got the job, and I've been here ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. What grade was this when you first interviewed here? What grade in school were you?
This was the middle of 10th grade.
Okay. And what you mentioned a program called SAP. Do you know what that stands for?
It is the Suspension Alternative Program.
So instead of suspension at your school, you were able to come here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how often did you come when you were in that program?
So
Is it like an everyday thing?
Yeah, it's a program. They send you down there for a certain amount of days.
Okay.
So I guess it really depends on what you've done, really.
Okay.
But normally it starts at 5 days, so really a whole week. And you'll be there from 8 a.m. in the morning to 3 o'clock when you leave.
And so you could pick, I guess, to come here instead of being in suspension. Is that how it is?
No. So the one at McCaskey, they would just give you, they would just tell you, okay, you did this, whatever. Now you're going to Benchmark.
Okay, gotcha.
So I didn't really get a
actually
choice.
have a choice.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's at least nice that you got to be sent to such a nice place here.
Literally.
When you first came to Benchmark, what were your initial thoughts? What'd you think?
When I first came, the one here?
Yeah.
Oh, I was very intimidated because I was very, very, very shy. And I was very introverted. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. But I just seen all these people who were so social and so, energetic that it started to bring it out of me slowly.
Okay.
So at first I was, very scared. I'm not going to lie. I was very scared.
Yeah. It's a new
lot
place.
of people. Yeah.
A lot of people. What is this place? Who
Yeah.
are these people?
Yeah, it was a lot of people, and it was a lot for me at the time. But over time, I really got used to it because I realized that this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Have you had a different outlook on life in school now that you've gotten integrated into Benchmark like this, both as taking advantage of the as a student and then also being a student leader and working here and things like that? How has that changed your perspective?
It's changed my perspective because I realized that a lot of kids really don't know about this, and a lot of kids don't have the resources that the kids that Benchmark do. There's so many opportunities that people could have if they come here, and nobody would really know unless you walk through the doors.
When you are highlighting the resources that are here for kids at Benchmark, can you which one comes to your mind? Can you tell me about a resource that is here that you really like to see that people should know about?
Definitely the tutors, because especially now since the Department of Education was dismantled or whatever happened, there's no tutoring after school at McCaskey anymore. I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but because they can't pay the teachers overtime, they stopped doing it.
Oh, teachers would volunteer to tutor, and but they could do it for overtime pay. And oh wow, I did not even realize that was happening.
Yeah, so they don't do it anymore. So having two tutors here is absolutely amazing.
What do you think your classmates are doing without tutoring? How are they getting help?
They either ask the teachers, or they look it up on their own, or they use ChatGPT, which leads to them not knowing what they're doing at all.
Right. Is there any, do you think that's something that's going to be long term? Has anyone at school talked about it and we're never going to have tutoring again or anything like that?
Well, I've overheard that it might be coming back, but it's especially with all the funding that's happening right now, it's not really certain.
Yeah, it's definitely up in the air. A lot of things are up in the air with funding issues. It's interesting because in the news we all see about the government shutdown, and I don't know that everyone always thinks about how that trickles down to just your local school district. And those things, I'm not saying that they're connected because I don't know if they are, but Department of Education does have funding, and, you know, budgets change and things like that. And then it changes. It could affect local school districts and changing like tutoring, which is so important for kids. And things really kind of affect a lot of people, and they trickle down. Like, we see it in the news and it seems distant, but like it actually is something that affects us. So now that you have been at Benchmark for, you know, a little while, have you ever set goals in your life or for school and homework and things like that? And how do you set goals in your life?
I've set a couple goals. One of them was to be like get out of my comfort zone a lot more than I used to and try everything, and that has definitely happened.
Yes, look at you right now.
That's definitely happened, and like I'm really proud of myself for that. Another goal that I have is to start doing way better in school, and that's something that's definitely been happening. I've seen a lot of progress in myself. I went from a D and F student to right now I have all A's and B's.
Good for you. That is amazing. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank
That's
you so
a lot
much.
of work.
And I've stayed in all my classes now, like because I don't want to I do not want to go back to that. That's like my goal, like what's the word? My standards are all the way up here now, rather than down here, because
Good.
rather if I have them lower, then I think that it's okay, and I don't discipline myself. So if I don't feel bad about getting a C or lower, it's just going to continue to happen, and then all of a sudden, all my grades are C's and lower. So I don't want to have to go through that again.
What motivated you to improve your grades so much and put in that work?
I have been thinking a lot, and I really want to go to college, and I really want to be I want to be somebody that helps people. So with that, you have to have a lot of schooling. So I want to get into at least the best college that I can. So with that, I have to get my GPA up and do all the hard work to be able to do that. And yeah.
I think that is talking about your experience and your story and how you rehabilitated your grades and the work that you put in is a great story for a college application essay. But also, I do want to tell you that you can help people even without college too. There's a lot of things that you can do and ways that you can help people just in so many different senses of the word, in so many different small ways and big ways without doing a lot of college. But there are careers. Some people feel strongly about the career of medicine. And yes, you do need a lot of schooling to be in that career where you're helping people in that way. So what career do you have in mind that you would like to do?
I really, really want to be a neuroscientist.
Okay.
Or some type of psychiatrist or a psychologist.
That's awesome.
I really, really like the study of the mind, and I like the way that it works. And I want to know more about it.
Do you ever read books or anything about it, or research things on your own, or listen to videos or podcasts on it?
Yeah, I do.
Now?
I listen to podcasts about it. While I'm doing, after, if I'm cleaning or something or doing my hair or something, I'll just put it on and I'll listen to it in the background. Because I think it's so interesting that there's so many unconscious behaviors that people do, and they don't even realize it. It's just little things like that. I love learning about it.
Has it changed how you communicate and interact with people when you're learning these different things about how our minds work?
Yes, absolutely. I start thinking about, I've already had empathy, but I start thinking about it a lot more. That maybe the reason why this person's being so mean is because they have something else going on, or maybe because this person's acting so happy because they can't really express themselves in other places. So it really helps me understand people more and be more understanding and try to judge people less and understand where they're coming from.
Do you think that part of your time at Benchmark kind of influenced an interest in that kind of stuff and gave you like hope for your future and like a different idea of what you could be?
This dream is pretty recent.
Okay.
It's like, because I realized that I can do so much more than I think I can, and I can do whatever I put my mind to. And after I realized that, I realized the sky's the limit. Like, I can do anything that I want to do. If I want to be an astronaut, I could be an astronaut. I don't want to be an astronaut, but like, I can. And yeah, it really helped shape the way that I am now, because I used to have a very low, like, expectations. Like, maybe I'm just gonna work in a corporate office, or maybe I'm just gonna be in fast food or something like that. But I never really had the idea of being someone who could like truly study people and help them like medically.
Yeah, sure. Or even on a broader sense of just like human wellness,
Yeah.
you know? And there's such a need for people who want to help people. Truly. It's that simple. There's so much of a need for that. What is something that you're curious to try next? Whether it's in school or life or something you want to research? Anything new you've tried recently?
I've been pursuing a lot of writing.
Oh, good for you.
Because of my AP writing class, I've noticed that it's becoming a lot more, like, it's becoming a lot easier to write and free write.
You're in AP writing. That's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you. But yes, it's very intriguing to me. So if I could like write a paper, or if you ask me to write a book, if you give me enough time, I might be able to. But it's helped me gain confidence in the way that I write and what I want to do.
Switching gears a little bit to thinking about mentorship. Mentorship is something that is really important here. It's very integral to Benchmark's mission. There's a lot of mentors roaming around. There's a lot of people who come in every week or every day that help with homework and just in a general mentorship capacity. If you mentor someone someday, what's one thing that you will share first with them?
Don't ever think of yourself as less than. You are all that you are, and you're that way because you're supposed to be that way. Nothing about you is supposed to be different. You're perfect just the way you are.
I love that. That should be on a plaque on the wall. That's amazing. There's a lot of people who need to hear that, especially youth and kids who are, we're all experiencing life for our first time, no matter what our age is. But there's a lot of kids that need to hear that, I think. So that's a really good message. If you think about our community here in Lancaster and, just the community every night here at Open Gym, what do people get wrong about kids, especially in our city here? Or you? What do people get wrong about you? Do you think there's judgments or anything that people make?
I think some people underestimate me. And I think some people underestimate how smart I am. Because I can be a little goofy sometimes, but if I need to be professional, I absolutely can be. And about the kids around this, like, from the community, they just, they have the expectation, not the expectation, they have the fixed mindset that these kids are they're just kids, and they don't really have feelings. They don't really know what they're doing. They're just doing stuff just to do it. And that they're not, what's that word? They're not as competent as they are. They're not as conscious.
That's a good way to say it.
So they look at them as less than. Like, just because you're a kid, just because you're younger than me, you don't know what I know. You haven't been through nothing compared to me.
And it's a bit demeaning when you have that perspective. Like, someone younger may not have as much life experience, but it doesn't mean that they are less than, like you said. And everyone, including down to the youngest, like toddler, has big emotions, big feelings, and they experience like emotions, and they feel scared, and they feel happy, and they feel sad, and we need to give them respect for the different things that they feel and the different things that they observe and see too. Definitely should not disparage people just because they are young, because there's a lot that young people can do to change the world. That's for sure. To people who support Benchmark, those that are donors year after year, people who, support from afar and have never been here, first of all, we're grateful to them for doing that. But what would you want to say to them in describing the culture here and what it's like to be here at Open Gym? Just describe it.
It's just, in the best way possible, chaos. But in the best way possible. Like, you can have someone having the most meaningful conversation to the left over here, and then have these kids over here yelling about an Uno game. Like, Open Gym is just such a lifting place. You can come here sad and leave happy because of how open everybody is and how sweet everyone is. Like, you wouldn't think that the people here are as nice as they are, but everyone here treats everyone the same, with the same type of, what's that word?
Respect?
Yes, with the same type of respect that they would themselves would want to receive, and they meet everyone where they're at. Which is a very, very, very big part, because a lot of kids come from different places and they come from a lot of different situations, so it helps them feel more comfortable, and like that, it makes them just feel happier, like feel more lifted, and it's just an overall very, very what's the word? Like, very fulfilling place to be.
It's an evening boost.
Yes.
So tell me, like, if you think in your mind of going through the different places of Benchmark, like on this floor, describe to me what's going on tonight. Like, there's people doing homework, there's food. Tell me about each place as you walk through, kind of when you walk in the front door, like what is it, and then just walking through. Give me a tour, a verbal tour.
So walking through, you're gonna see, you're gonna straight see the gym, everybody, and then the loud booming music, which is always good music. But you're gonna hear the loud booming music. You're gonna hear everybody either conversating or very focused on working out. Then you pass that, and then you go right into the gym. Into the lounge, and you come in here. Sometimes they're watching a movie, or sometimes they are screaming at games, or they can be eating. A lot of them, it can be a whole different, a lot of different things. Because you could come back here, everybody could be eating. Everybody could be sitting around at the TV watching a movie in the dark, eating popcorn. Or they could just, everybody plays a game together. Then you go left into the bodega, which is where we have all of our snacks and stuff for the students that get bench bucks, and they could just buy whatever they want in there.
So they earn those by being here and like doing a workout or other things. They get these things called bench bucks, and then they can spend those in the bodega, and there's snacks and drinks and clothing and shoes, and I don't know what else they all have in there. And then go ahead.
Yeah, and also if you have enough bench bucks, I think you're able to request something. So
that's
yes.
neat.
And there's also a homework room in there, which, like I said, the tutors are there every Tuesday. So you'll see them sitting down working with the students, trying to guide them through. The other day I seen the math tutor with a big whiteboard, and he was teaching the kids geometry.
Wow.
And then you leave there, and then you come to the podcast room, and it's so dope in here.
And that's where we are right now.
That's where we are.
Lots of different spaces to Benchmark, and there's also an upstairs, and there's some women's things that go on up there. There's like another little lounge area, and just the space has changed over the months, but there used to be dance classes in there, and then still is, I think, on some days, and then they had different equipment that has come in and out, and then they got a new floor this year, and very generous person did the floor up there. So
we have like little events. Like the other day we did crocheting. They're doing junk journaling in a little bit, and right now they're doing group therapy.
That's awesome. Which one is your favorite of all the things that you've done? Because like you've visited different places, like you've gone on the field trips, and I know they've done junk journaling a couple of times. We did Valentine's Day. I think I was helping with that. There's been like so many different events. So which one has been your favorite? What's been your favorite thing that you've done?
Like overall?
Yeah, just like as part of the events that go on upstairs.
Probably learning how to crochet. Even though it was a little frustrating, I got it, and it's so fun. Like it's like relaxing. It's so relaxing. That or the terrariums. We made terrariums one time. I still have it in my room. It keeps dying because my cat keeps eating it.
Oh no.
But
you have to like hang it high so the cat can't get to it. But then again, cats can jump pretty high.
Yeah,
so
he's a nut. But yeah, we made terrariums a couple months ago, and I still have it. We were just sitting there. She bought us kits, so we were just sitting there on a big plastic bag, just putting all this stuff together. And
that is so cool.
We would make little there's little scenes on top of them. One of my friends did like a little dinosaur little thing.
That's
cool. It looked mad cute.
That is so cool. Wow. Lots and lots of fun stuff. What was the other thing you mentioned? The terrariums and crocheting. Mm-hmm. I crocheted when I was younger, and it was very relaxing. It's like something that's really good to do when you have a lot of time to kill, or just, I don't know, it feels like you're being really productive.
It does.
And you could get, once you practice a lot, you can get really fast, and then it's like super satisfying.
Oh yes, and then you can my goal is to make clothes.
Wow.
Because imagine you're going around on the streets and you're walking around and someone says, "Oh, well, I like your sweater. Where'd you get it from?" I made it.
I know. I love that.
That sounds so cute.
That'd be the coolest thing to say ever.
Literally.
I made it. If you think about growing up, we're all still growing up. I still am growing up. Who were the people that you looked up to, and why?
I really looked up to my mom because she is a single mom, and with my brothers and her, and she just does everything in her power to get us whatever we need. She's a very, very, very hard worker and very independent. So every time I push to be like her. That's why I want to be so independent. I want to have everything for myself. And she just she made me want to be this strong and powerful person like she is.
That's awesome. That's a really, really nice tribute to your mom. Wow. We love our moms. Thank goodness for great moms. Do you think that, I mean, you mentioned so thinking about school, because it's school, it's not school. School time for the students, and takes up a lot of your time. You spend a lot of time at school. What are some things that youth are struggling with, that you see your classmates kind of struggling with at this point, that you think there could be more resources available for them? So we talked about tutoring, like right now, tutoring's not available at your school, which is really sad. What are some other resources that you think youth need in your classes that you observe that could help them thrive in life?
I feel as though some sort of rehab would be very helpful. In the sense that I see a lot of kids coming to school very high, and I know, which was the reason that I got into Benchmark, I know from experience that you're definitely not doing, you're not going to get anywhere doing that. And the longer that you think it's okay, is the longer that it's going to progress, and you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do after high school. And they're not going to necessarily care at that moment, but when it comes time to really start looking at things, they're going to look at their GPA and be like, what was I doing this whole time? Why was I not going to class? Why was I not staying focused in class? I feel like that would be very extremely helpful. Not a rehab as in like making them do certain things, a rehab as in something that can keep them sober enough and for long enough that they can see their fullest potential when they're not. Because you can see a lot of change when you're not high and when you're actually paying attention in class.
So there's clarity that you gain when you are sober, and people who are spending 80% of their time high are not getting those really good times of clarity and perspective. Like, I know you've had this year a lot of those moments where you've seen clarity about your future and you've worked on your grades and you kind of have developed these goals. That probably didn't happen when you were high. That happened when you were sober. Mm-hmm. So that is important to have that sober mind to actually see. And also, you mentioned in class, you get more out of it if you are sober. And so that's really important. Rehabilitation is definitely a very much needed thing for so many different areas of society.
Especially because of how normalized it is now. I could go to the bathroom at school and find at least 2 people with one. Like with something.
Why do you think that is? Why is drugs such a huge issue in school?
Because not everybody wants to face their feelings or the thoughts that they have. Sometimes people are just looking for a way out, and that's their way out. That's their way of not feeling everything at that moment. That's their way of not having to sit in their feelings. Their feelings aren't as prominent anymore. And it could be a lot of stress too. A lot of things could be happening at home where they're just trying to regulate their emotions and they can't because one, there's not an outlet for them to. So maybe getting high is their outlet, is their way to feel okay.
How do we fix that? What do we do to help people face their feelings and be able to process them in a healthy manner? Do you think it's, therapy or mentors or changing home life, or, what do you think, in your opinion, what might be a solution to that?
I definitely think a mentor, because changing the chemistry of home is not necessarily going to help. It's just going to help the fact of everything being inconsistent. So it's not necessarily going to help them by changing their home. I feel like a mentor, to be able to sit with them, letting them know, hey, this isn't okay, and what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do in your future?
There's more out there than this. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, there's so much more for you to do. What can we get you doing? And how can we start?
Does your school have therapists still? Counselors? People that you can talk to about problems, or not really?
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure because I don't really go to them, but there are counselors, but I don't necessarily think that kids want to talk to counselors. They don't.
It's probably hard to trust.
Yeah, because the kids now know that they're mandated reporters. So whatever they say can and literally will be used against them. So it doesn't feel safe for them to share what they want to share. So that's why I'm saying a mentor, not someone to judge them, not someone to make them feel afraid of what they're doing and what's going to happen after they tell them. Someone to sit with them, hear them out, and understand where they're coming from and try and help them get better.
Yeah, that definitely is something that would be really, really helpful. Mentorship is very big here at Benchmark and very important to a lot of us. And mentors can really change the trajectory of your life for sure. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. Thanks for telling us about your experience coming to Benchmark and being at Benchmark, and the growth that you have experienced this year is amazing. You're doing a great job. Love to see you, and thanks again.
Thank you.